a quick video. So let me share my screen real quick with everyone. This is like a 5-minute video, and it's just a really great explanation of what 2B Mindset is. And then, of course, we can go on. I'm going to tell a brief testimony of my experience, and then we'll have Erin and Dee tell theirs, and then we can dive in a little bit more about what to expect from the program, who the program is for, and all of that. And then, of course, field questions. So let's play this. Can everyone hear this? Give me a thumbs up.
Your mind is your spirit. Whatever you tell yourself all day is what's going to be. Before starting this, I had gotten into a mindset where I didn't think I could change.
I was 30 pounds overweight. I was in a funk.
You need the mind switch before you can lose your weight. Mindset's in it, you're going to win it. It's no longer about metabolism, it's mentality.
If you're overweight, struggle with emotional eating, wait only to see it come right back on, chances are it's not just your body. Mind is changed. Introducing the 2B Mindset, a breakthrough approach to losing weight and keeping it off.
When you know how your body reacts to food and what you're supposed to eat, I feel like that's knowledge that no one can ever take from me, and that will never let me go back to who I was before.
Now I know exactly what to eat, when to eat it. I feel satisfied, I'm not hungry, and I'm losing weight every day.
It's so much more than just nutrition.
It just takes a tweak in your mind, and then it's so easy after that.
The name is absolutely perfect. It's your mindset.
Join Ilana Mulstein as she shows you what to eat and when. Techniques to eliminate cravings. Her 4 simple steps to lose weight each and every day, plus the secrets to create a positive and sustainable relationship, and so much more.
The 2B Mindset is not a diet. You're never going to have to count calories. You're never going to have to count calories. You're never going to cut out food. You're never going to say no to alcohol, to sweets.
I'm so sorry, but there's still somebody that's not muted, and I can't mute everyone. If y'all can please take a minute to mute yourselves, I'd really, really appreciate it. Sorry. Thank you.
To anything. Like, the second you start telling yourself no, you're just going to be fixated on that. You're going to be telling yourself yes.
What I love the most about this program is that I don't count calories at all.
Now that I started the 2B Mindset, I am able to eat the same foods as everyone else. I can go back for seconds. I can still lose weight. I can eat and still drop weight the next day.
I lost 50 pounds in this program, and I did not have to fast, not one time.
I eat more now in volume and variety than I did before.
And I'm always asked, what is it that you're doing? I'm just living, I'm eating, I'm enjoying it.
You got to live your life, and I'm all about living the most full life I can, and that's how I want everyone to feel while still losing weight.
In her private practice and at UCLA, Ilana has helped hundreds of her clients learn how to lose weight and keep it off. But her success comes not only from being a top registered dietitian, but also from her own experience losing 100 pounds.
When I first found out about Ilana, I immediately looked her up, and I was so impressed with the fact that she's an RDN. She knows her stuff, and not only that, she has a transformation. She lost 100 pounds.
When I was 200 pounds, oh my God, I just hated my body. I would constantly be filled with shame and embarrassment about how big I was compared to everyone else around me. But then the more insecure I felt in my body, the more I'd want to eat. I feel like Ilana understands every step of the journey that I have been on because she's been through it too.
Because the 2B Mindset is about more than just nutrition, Ilana gives you the tools to overcome behaviors that might have held you back in the past.
I'm constantly reintroduced to my emotional eating self. But when you actually become real with it, you realize the immense connection between your body and your choices. You start to become very clear that it's working for you.
Following this program, I feel completely in control. Food no longer controls me.
I am finally in control of my food, my life, everything. I'm in complete control of what happens to my body.
I am not a prisoner to emotional eating anymore. So this program gave me back my life. I'm alive again. I've lost 31 pounds with the 2B.
60 pounds and lost 30 pounds at this point.
I did not think I would lose it, to be honest.
I have lifted 26 pounds.
I never expected to be sitting
I've lost 30 pounds.
Once you're in on the secret, there's no going back.
Is it party?
Be in control of whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to show you every strategy tool that has worked for hundreds and hundreds of people to lose weight happily, so you can do it too.
The 2B Mindset features over 16 videos that will offer you how to cook for maximum weight loss, how to deal with travel, restaurants, and temptations. Plus, the 2B Mindset app lets you track your health. All of Alana's knowledge right in your pocket, which makes losing weight and keeping it off that much easier. Time to change your body by changing your mind with the 2B Mindset. Coming in
Love that one.
2018.
This is the rest of my life. To be continued.
Okay, so I wanted to share that video, and I'm sorry there's still like 2 people that aren't muted, and I muted everybody else. Laura.
Hi,
Laura?
I'm Alana, and I'm the co-creator of 2B Mindset, launching with Beach Bath.
What's that? Lauren, I don't know if it's you. Who else is talking? I'm gonna figure out who's not muted because we've got a baby talking in the background.
I can see Holly Harris is not muted. Lauren Zagursky is not muted. Those are the only 2 I see. 140440. She just muted.
I think it was that one. I think I just did.
Okay.
Okay. So sorry about the background noise. Okay. But I hope that you were able to watch that and see it and feel somewhat inspired through all that. And you guys, this program, as you can tell, is for everybody and anybody. It's for people that want to lose 5 pounds to people that need to lose 100 to 200 plus pounds. You know, it's for the people, the low-dose dieters, the fad dieters, you know, the emotional eaters, the people that have been told that they can't lose weight or they tell themselves that they can't lose weight. It's for, you know, moms with people, you know, mothers with PCOS, breastfeeding moms, anybody postpartum that has trouble. And we'll get into that. I know Erin will touch on that a little bit with her story. You know, this program is seriously for everybody and anybody, and it breaks barriers to weight loss for anybody that struggles with it. You know, people with elevated blood sugars, people that are pre-diabetic, is really good candidate for this program. The only people that Alana tells that should be consulting a doctor essentially are those that are diagnosed with type 1 or type 2 diabetes already. They're already diagnosed, and to consult their doctors and make sure that their doctors are aware that this could be a program that could be helpful for them, but that their doctors need to be with them step by step so that they're in good hands. Other than that, and you know, and if you have somebody out there, for those the coaches that are watching, if you have somebody out there with a pre-diagnosed condition that is hesitant to start any nutrition plan because of a certain thing, obviously always consult your doctor first. That's obviously has to be said. Not, you know, shouldn't have to be said, but should be said. But honestly, you guys, this is a program for anybody and everybody, and it is going to be a total game changer. Erin, let me tell a little bit about my story, and then I'll let Erin kind of dive in and tell hers. So, you know, I am one of those people who probably only had 5 pounds to lose. I was asked to be a part of the coach test group, honestly, probably because of my culinary background, and I had the privilege of inviting Erin to be a part of it with me. You know, I dove into it with obviously huge open mind, because I, like many of you, for those of you who are coaches and challengers in this group, have been following a container system for the last 2.5, 3 years of my life. And as much as the container system has helped me, I mean, I lost 15 pounds with the container system, which is where I started with my journey. and I was able to maintain that weight loss using it, I was personally feeling restrictive by it. And so when this came up, I was 100% ready for something new. And the whole, there's no counting calories, there's no containers involved, and all of a sudden I'm like free to eat whatever I want, and I'm losing the 6 pounds that I gained over the last like 2 or 3 months solely because I kind of lost control of the whole container thing because I was sick and tired of doing it, right? And isn't that what we all do? That's not what we all do. That's what we're all doing. You know, that it's called life. Even as a health and wellness coach and encouraging everybody else, I still have those struggles. We're all in the same boat with that. And I think that's what's so important and so amazing about this program is that we do remind ourselves that we're not alone and that it can be done. And all of a sudden we're like free to do it on our own. And I know that sounds really weird and bizarre. We'll dive more into that a little bit and answer, obviously field questions about that because people are like, how can you just eat whatever you want and be okay with it and have this just be a mindset thing and you lose weight? But you do, and I promise. So I'm going to hand it over to Erin to tell a little bit about her story. And then we'll let Dee talk for a little bit too, and then we'll dive in more about what the program entails and what to expect. Erin.
Hi, everybody. For those of you who know me, I'm obviously Erin. I've been a coach for a little over 2 years. And I, have done Two Mindset same amount of time as about 6 weeks. And she was kind enough to invite me to be in the tech with her. So my kind of background with Beachbody started after a year. Had great results with Motion Fix and that stuff. And I've done like every workout program that I come out with. I'm just a diehard. And chat. Let me see if it stays. Can you guys hear me okay? Better? Any? Okay. So anyway, it's because everyone isn't muted. A bunch of people who are muted and we can't. Okay. Let me give it a second so we can get muted. Because I don't think it's my internet. Yay, guys. Okay, can you guys hear me okay now? Now I can't see anybody.
I think Erin just hopped off to try to hop back on. So Dee, if you want to unmute yourself.
Hey.
There you go.
Got it down now. I got the unmuting down. Probably toward the end of last year, started having life challenges and, deaths in the family, things that are just going to happen. And back spasm out, all kinds of life challenges over the past few months before 5 weeks ago when I started this program. And I was going in a downward spiral and I just started binge eating at night. I would eat healthy, I would exercise. When I wasn't having, I was only 2 weeks on the back spasms, but when I started exercising again, I was good on that part. Going blank here. And then I get a text from CC saying, hey, they want to add you to this test group, but you got to get in today. It's a last minute add in, and they're getting you in there. So I said, okay, let's try it. I don't have anything to lose, and you don't get this opportunity often. So I said, okay. And I am definitely an emotional eater. I have a lot more weight to lose than Maggie. And so far, I've lost almost 7 pounds. And the encouraging part of this is, and it's 5 weeks, and the encouraging part about it is when you get into the program, Alana talks about over the next 2 months that you should see even more weight loss than what you're seeing this month, because you're getting to know your body and you're getting to know what your body needs. And so I'm very hopeful and excited about that part. And sorry about that. And the other thing is the program's just simple. And for me, that's what I need. I went from being just a junk food addict, I guess you can say, at the beginning before I started, and I was losing weight with the portion controls.
Mike,
I lost 55 pounds.
Mindset's going to be really good for your brother.
Hello? Oh, someone else is talking. I was like, huh? My brother? It could be. But I've lost 55 pounds at the beginning, and then I gained 25 of it back. And so that was due to the binge eating. But of course, now I left that part out, and I wanted to include it, that I am a yo-yo dieter or yo-yo person on eating. I am rambling right now. The main thing is that this is a simple program, and that's the exciting part for me. And you get videos, and to me, these videos are huge. They're very important, because when you can't go talk to a fellow challenger or coach, you have these videos to go to. And the way that Elena talks, or Lana, she changes your mindset when it's going down just a little bit into a negative way. And she says, no, you look at it this way, and it's okay. It changes your whole mindset right back up to a positive mindset. And so you don't have time to get in that, well, from my experience, you don't have time to get in that downward spiral again. And the other thing is, I'm not a veggie lover, but I'm trying new things now, and you just find the things that are good that you do like, and it works. It just works. It's simple to follow. My daughter is even picking up on some of these, and I'm just really excited about it. What else? Anything else?
Well, what I love too is that Dee went on a 10-day vacation.
Yes.
And I mean, just speak about that, like going on vacation while using this program.
Yeah, I went on a 10-day vacation, and I did gain a couple pounds, but when I got back, it went right back down within a day and a half, or day to 2 days. I think it was a day. 2 pounds the first day, so it was probably just water or whatever else. And the next day was the remainder. And sorry, I get distracted by posts. So on this trip, though, I was still getting to eat some of the things that I would have totally binged on the whole time, gained probably 10 pounds by the time I got back from a 10-day vacation. But I didn't. It's exciting. Any questions? I'll answer them.
Dee, talk about the thing that I love that you mentioned last night was the part about how you wake up feeling lighter.
Oh, okay.
I think, and just knowing you, and you're such a ray of light, and you lost it for a little while, but it's back, and I see it, and I see that light, and that
it's that happy feel.
Freedom.
You have a happy feeling when you're losing weight. You're not stressing about it. I don't stress in this one at all. And because of my knee injury now, I can't exercise, but I can still lose weight. And that's huge for me because I'm just going through a lot of obstacles, but you can lose weight in this one, even though you get hit with all of these obstacles. It's easy to still follow. What else? Oh, the in the morning. In the morning, I've only lost the 7 pounds, but I think everybody else has talked about the bloated feeling too. That's in the test group, but I've only lost 7 pounds so far. But man, I feel like my waist is like that, and I feel like I've lost already 20 to 30 pounds, and because of that feeling, I'm like, I can visualize. I'm like, I even had a dream, y'all. I didn't even mention this before. I had a dream. I was one hot thing. Let me tell you. I was like, oh, I can wear a bikini. And I could probably wear a bikini now, but I'm pretty good to wait. I'm excited about that part because I am almost 47, and it's just knocking out. This is for anybody, though. This is for 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, etc. Overweight, only a few pounds to lose, like Maggie. It's maintaining. It's just a pretty awesome program. And like we said, you don't feel like you're on a program. This is definitely a lifestyle change. And I've done all of the other programs. I've got on board the timed nutrition. I was crashing on that one. It was not a good one for me. And it is good for some people, but it's just not mine. And I've tried all the rest of them, but this one right here, I'm passionate about. And I can't get across because I'm just probably, unless you want me to cry, I can cry for you if you want me to. I'm really passionate about this program. Oh, someone wants to hear the nitty gritty. That's on you, Maggie. I have no control.
Yeah, so we will get into a couple more details here, Lindsay. And if you have questions when we're finished, kind of covering everything, please, by all means, you can put them in the chat box, or we'll take times and you guys can kind of like ding yourself and we'll take turns like answering questions. You can unmute I'll give you permission to unmute yourself at that point to ask a question. So let's, Aaron is back on, better internet connection, and people are muted. So Aaron, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me know if my internet is whack again. I will move somewhere.
It's still breaking up.
Else in my house. Basically, okay, let me mute myself and move.
Yeah, it's awful.
Am I better?
You are.
Okay, my lighting's not as good over here, so I apologize.
You are so much better though.
Okay. So anyway, I started this program after having a baby in June, and I had done a bunch of programs, and I started 80-Day Obsession, and I really wasn't seeing a whole lot of progress, and I was really frustrated because I had weight still to lose, and I was nursing, and so I kind of just chalked it up to nursing. But, you know, the scale just didn't move at all. My measurements didn't move at all. You know, I was just getting really upset. And so I started this test group, and I kind of went through the first round of videos, and I remember kind of calling Maggie and being like, I mean, this is stupid because it's so simple. Like, this doesn't work. I mean, everybody knows how to eat food and like drink water and eat a lot of vegetables and that kind of stuff. Like, this can't possibly be what I've not been doing this whole time. Like, it's just dumb. And she was like, trust the process. And I was like, la, la, la. And we did it, and we kind of all just started losing weight. We would kind of text each other each morning, like if we were up or down, and it just was consistent. And my scale literally had not moved in 5 months. It would move like down and then back up, and, you know, within a 2-pound range, but I lost like 7 pounds in the first month. still nursing, which is just crazy to me. And like, I honestly wish I had just done this forever. Like, I'm annoyed that I'm just now learning about this whole thing. So I know we'll go through like some of the details that we're kind of allowed to talk about. I was just going to touch on a couple questions that people just asked. And that's the scale, for one, is kind of a huge hang up for a lot of people. But honestly, it's really not anymore. For me, it was really scary to be told I was going to have to weigh myself every day, because I come from a long history of eating disorder, essentially my whole life as a gymnast, and the scale is terrifying. And that definitely has been a part of the problem for me, is that I don't weigh myself because I don't want to know what it says. I know in the back of my head that it's not changed in the way that I want it to. And so Lana kind of talks about there's different ways that people feel about the scale, but for me, I definitely was a person who was not using it because I was scared of it. And now instead I use it as a tool each morning to check in with myself. I choose not to base my whole day of emotions on if I gained a pound or something like that. And, it makes you really think about what happened the day before, the days before. Why is it up today? You have to be curious about the process. What did I eat, or what have I drank or not drank, or, what am I doing that has made the scale move this way? And so that's kind of how you learn more about your body versus being told this is a program that is, just the same for everybody. This is why in the first month people lose weight, but in month 2, 3, 4, once you figure out what works for you, it works better. So the scale really has been a huge, wonderful part of this experience, even though for so long we tell each other, like, don't look at the scale, don't care about the scale, that sort of thing. It's going to fluctuate. And once we get over the fact that it does that, it doesn't have to determine your whole day. It's just more information for you to have. And so Christy said, yeah, so Alana basically says, Christy's question was, you said you choose not to let the number on the scale mess up your whole day. Is that something Alana teaches? And I agree with Dee. I need the scale now. I need to know what that says. And, it's not, she doesn't want you weighing yourself, when you first wake up, and then after you exercise, and then after you have a bowel movement, and all day long, let's see what the number is. You wake up, you weigh yourself, and that's it. That's all the information you take that day. And she kind of teaches you that you cannot be angry and curious at the same time. So if you want to know why that number is up or down, you have a choice to either just be pissed about it and let it ruin your day, or try to figure out why it is that way and make that day a weight loss day the next one. So I really feel like she's changed that whole relationship for me, when, I spent the last 30 years of my life not being able to comfortably weigh myself. So that was a huge change. And someone asked another question. I can't remember what it was, but let me see.
Wrote it down.
Somebody asked about cravings.
Yeah. So for me, my cravings are definitely tied to what I am eating. So if I am not eating sugar, I don't crave sugar. If I have a piece of chocolate, I have 17 pieces of chocolate. I mean, that's just my life. That's who I am. And I just know that when I have one, it's going to be hard for me. And, I have to learn that about myself and have to accept that and know that if I want to indulge, that I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm not going to be upset about it and beat myself up about it, because that's how we start the cycle of, well, now I've had 17 pieces of chocolate, so I'm going to eat a whole pizza. It's okay. And that's what she talks about. It's okay to indulge, and you need to enjoy it as much as possible when you do. And, stop using it as something that's going to set the tone for everything else you do. So, really the best thing about this program is the nutrition is so simple and it's great, but she honestly gives you the tools to combat every obstacle you come up with any day you're having. And that's been what has been missing in my life is how do I combat these things that I'm doing? Because I can make a meal plan and I can follow portions, but what do I do, when I slip up, or what do I do when it's the weekend, or what do I do when the scale goes up and I don't know why? So that's, I feel like, the missing piece that she kind of provides with all of this. Any other questions?
I love all that. Somebody just asked, what about muscle gain versus fat loss on the scale? Listen, there's, so this is a weight loss program, and exercise is considered extra credit. Those of you on this call, most of you are Beachbody coaches and or challengers, and you are committed to a program. And Erin and I did not stop working out to do this program. We continue to work out and continue to lose weight. And I'm still continuing to build muscle. And it's because of the programs I'm doing that I think that I'm actually maintaining my weight at that 6-pound weight loss. I definitely had weight loss that I needed at the time for my body and my body type. I just know that I feel best fluctuating between like 126 and 130. And right now I'm 130 and totally happy and totally love the way that I look and how I feel and everything else. So I'm on the upper side of where I typically fluctuate. And that is me personally. So that is part of this program as well, is like figuring that out with your body. This isn't something that's going to be like, well, you're going to weigh yourself, like this is how you should feel and this is how you're going to do. Like there is an intuitive matter to this. It is not intuitive eating, but there is an intuitive matter to this, where you just have to know that if you are doing a program that requires weights, that, obviously muscle weighs more than fat. So if you're not seeing the scale go down as much as you think that you should, maybe it's because you are gaining that muscle, but you can't, again, that is making sure that you're aware of that, and not being angry at that and being curious about it, and just waking up and knowing how your body feels. And that is the important part of that too. So I'm doing a heavy weightlifting right now, and my body is still shifting and changing, but maintaining the weight. So, just being aware of that and being in tune with your body and the way that it feels, and feeling that confidence and feeling the health and the happiness that you have control over this finally is really what it comes down to. Did I answer that fair?
Yeah, and I wanted to add, honestly, for me, that whole muscle weighs more than fat thing goes along with not wanting to weigh myself. Every time I did, I know that I have a lot of muscle, but I know when I'm doing a program that I'm honestly building muscle. And I know when I'm gaining weight, it's not usually muscle, unless you're a person that's very inactive and you first start working out and you really are building muscle, or you're doing a heavy lifting program, or you're really upping your weights, that sort of thing. If you know that you have 20 pounds to lose and you're gaining weight and you've been active this whole time, a lot of times it's not muscle. And we know that. And that's part of learning to be honest with yourself about the scale, what it's telling you. And so that for me is a big deal, because every time it would go up, I'd say, well, I've been working out a lot, so it's probably just muscle. And that's just why I was kind of telling myself for so long. Tara asked, how have the results been for people who started before us? Do you know the weight loss amounts for people who have been in the program a while? So in some of her videos, she does have people who have been on it for a long time, several months. And in general, like we said before, people lose weight in the first month, but they usually lose way more in the months afterwards, because they kind of know better what they need to do. So overall, people have lost weight consistently, and people have kept it off. And she kind of teaches that you can lose weight as fast as you gain it. People feel like you can only lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, and she's kind of like, you can lose weight as fast as you want if you're going to put in the time and effort. So I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, it does. And Tara, to like give you exact numbers, I mean, there's people in the group that have lost 60 to 80 pounds already. Because we've been in the group for about a year, up to a year and a half. This group, the test group, actually started almost 2 years ago without they started testing about 2 years ago and did not actually include Beachbody coaches at first. They included some of her clients, and then they recruited outside of Beachbody to see how it would work. And so those people that have been in that test group, I mean, they grabbed people that had 200 pounds to lose, and they have lost, 100, 150 pounds, that type of thing. So it is a, huge success rate. And everybody that's in the program has lost weight. There isn't anybody that has done it that hasn't lost weight. A couple other questions. Ashley asked, what are you eating versus what you aren't eating? So there it is. Okay, so this isn't a diet. We're not eliminating anything. This is more of an undiet than it is a diet. There's so many diets out here, and unfortunately we live in the United States where we are bombarded by the newest thing and the newest pill and the quickest fix and all this other stuff, because that's the society that we live in. And we're not eliminating anything. This is not low carb. This is not counting calories. This is not telling you low sugar. This is not, obviously low sugar is kind of a given, but we're not eliminating any of those things for you. It's eating what we are doing is eliminating the emotional connection. We're eliminating, the doubts and the negative self-talk. That's what we're eliminating out of this, and getting back into loving food again, loving yourself, keeping it positive and knowing that you can wake up every single day feeling healthy and strong. And that's really the missing link with all these other diets that are out there, You can eliminate anything you want and lose weight, but what happens the second you start incorporating it back in? You gain that weight again. You self-sabotage yourself the entire process, and you got to start fresh with the newest fad diet. That's not what this is. It is a simple nutrition plan that you can follow for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and one other thing I will say is, what you're eating and not eating is going to be totally individual. So even within our group of 5 people on our team who are in the test group, we all kind of went different routes. So in general, she gives you guidelines of what she would like you to eat as far as food groups. You're eating more of your carbohydrates in the morning and less at night. She gives you guidelines for how to choose those carbohydrates. There's no you can't have this, you should have this. There's just, this is what you're looking for in a nutritional label. These are going to be the best ones. These are going to be not so great ones. This is how you should pick your carbs, your meats, your vegetables, stuff that we all feel like we know, but actual set guidelines to choose them. And so we all kind of found different things for ourselves. So for me, for example, I was nursing, and I definitely had to eat more fat than some other people. I had more healthy fats probably than everyone else. And that worked for me to still lose weight versus what I was doing before, which was just really eating more food. And I wasn't, losing weight doing that. And Erin Hopkins, who was also in the test group, and myself kind of found that days that we didn't eat grains were bigger weight loss days for us. So, that's something I feel like I've maybe always thought that was, good for me, but, it always became this low carb diet versus, binging and that sort of thing. And really it's just that I have to limit my bread, pasta, even the healthy stuff, if I want to lose weight faster. So, I kind of eliminated those most days, but I still had them on days I wanted to. So it's really learning about what foods work best for you and not necessarily cutting out one thing or the other, but making the best choices for your body.
And for your journey, if I can add that onto it. Someone commented on there, doesn't eat healthy food. Hello. I am definitely that person that will go, I like cauliflower pizza now. Cauliflower crusted pizza. I talk about this all the time, and y'all will hear it probably forever. So now I don't care if I have regular pizza, but I do. I've had, I think I had 5 Doritos yesterday. I still had a weight loss day. I'll take it, and and it's me, and it's conquering my mindset. And maybe eventually I won't want those at all, but I still have to conquer that mindset of, ooh, I want a cookie, or ooh, I want this. And maybe that's just life in general, and I'll do it the rest of my life. But if I'm seeing weight loss and I'm feeling better about myself and I'm still on my journey and I'm not downward spiraling, it's a huge plus for me. And I think it'll help a lot of people that love junk food. And it's not a good thing for your body all the time. And I know this, and it's just about a balance.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you for answering. I was actually going to throw that question at you, Dee, so I love that you just hopped in and answered it. People that eat fast food several times a week, don't eat produce, eat lots of white carbs. Again, these are all choices, you guys. We all have choices, and our choices add up to something. And unfortunately, choices like that add up to obesity. And if you want to be obese, then be obese and happy. But if you want to lose weight, then you're going to have to make changes. And that's the mindset behind all of this, and the simplicity behind all of it. And if somebody like Dee, who came into this saying, I love junk food, and is now a cauliflower pizza crust junkie, can change her mindset and love it and share it with her family, and like see the fact that she's changing her daughter and the way that her daughter eats, everything else behind it is incredible. And I've just seen a light bulb go off in Dee's head with this program, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get emotional talking about it. Sorry, I won't. But I've seen it in you, Dee, and it's just, I've seen it in you not only for yourself but for your family, and that to me is like one of the biggest gifts you could ever give, especially with all of this. So, as far as somebody coming at you saying, I eat a lot of fast food, or I'm always on the run, or I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I love my white carbs and I hate produce, and those are all mindsets. You don't hate produce. Not everybody hates all produce. Let's find some that you love, and we'll figure it out from there. And it doesn't all have to be, it doesn't all have to be on the negative. Let's find the positive in what you do enjoy eating, and we'll go from there. And with that said, sorry, I know somebody just hopped on. I'm trying to figure out who it is.
It's Amy.
Sorry, I'm muting you. Sorry, I'm going to mute you. And with that said, part of this program, and I know that they say they have the videos, right? The functional videos for everybody to see. The functional videos look at how you're going to plate your food. And sorry, I wrote some of this stuff down just so that I can share it with you guys. How you're going to plate your food, how you set up your kitchen for success, how to order when you order out, even if you're doing takeout from home, looking at menus, how to order when you're at dinners, what to do when you travel, and what you do when you travel, and how to keep that in line. And of course, Dee already spoke about that. I went to Mexico with Aaron and the rest of the crew, rest of my coaches and my team for 5 days, and I came back and put myself on the scale. I didn't weigh myself. I was there. I had a good time. I told myself I was going to go and just have a good time. It's an all-inclusive resort, you guys. All you can eat, 24 hours a day. Like, margaritas are flowing, tacos are coming, and I didn't gain a single ounce. I literally weighed the exact same to the ounce when I got back. Why? Because even though I had the margaritas and the tacos and everything else, I was still mindful of what I ate, but I didn't cheat myself. I treated myself. I didn't cheat myself, if that makes sense. I allowed myself to have those foods, but I didn't overdo it, because I now have this little like Alana voice in my head. Like, everybody should have a pocket Alana in them saying, hey, have that glass of water before you have that meal. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. I chug 2 of these a day, and I'm actually like on like 2.5 right now, finishing this one, plus my tea, plus my shake, plus my water. There's just these little things that you have along the way that are tools that you give you that are so just to touch on what else you get within it, because I can tell you a little bit about these things. You also get
Hey, Maggie.
Yeah.
Can you, I don't know if someone has become unmuted, but you kind of sound like you're in a hole right now. I don't know if it's just me, but like I hear a lot of static, and so I don't know if it's a phone, someone's phone on. People are nodding, so.
Sorry, the only person I can't mute is Julie. I don't know why I don't have control over alt mute all. Aaron, I don't know if it's you. It could have been you, Aaron. Thank you. So just to touch on a little, a couple, is that better? Thumbs up, Cece? Is that better? Okay. So just to touch on a little things that that you also get, you know, along with these videos that you get that are amazing. And by the way, these videos are like 5 minutes or less. There are a lot of them, but they're 5 minutes or less. They are quick. They are informative. They are amazing. And I think the longest one she has is when she's going through like the grocery store and looking at, she actually shows you what to look for on the back of food labels. And what she gives you in order to do that is, again, so quick and so easy. You don't feel confused by like looking at all these ingredients. She actually makes you look at like the percentages and has to do this like simple calculation. You're good to go. And you're going to get a recipe book. Her recipes are all like 5 ingredients or less. They're no-brainers and they are delicious. Super simple. And the other, and I think that's all I think that's all I'm really allowed to say. But along with the recipes, and I'm sorry, we're not allowed to say a whole lot of things. I'm saying this only because there are YouTube videos already out there saying this. But some of these other things have not been said. You get a shaker bottle, you get a water bottle with her little sayings on it and all this other stuff. But what is amazing about this as well, and again, for coaches and challengers that are current with us, you know, I love my meal plans, love my meal preps, but I'm no longer having to calculate the containers into it. My meal planning has gone from an hour and a half to like half an hour because I don't have to do that much anymore. Like it just simplifies everything. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I know that I think we kind of touched on everything, Erin, didn't we? Is there anything else you want to touch on? Or Dee, if you want to pop back in? Are there any
there's a few questions I was just going to touch on. A few people asked. So let's see. Jessica asked, aside from weight loss, muscle gain, have you noticed any other benefits? I noticed a couple of things. So, I mean, it wasn't a huge change. I was eating pretty good. I just wasn't really like eating correctly for my body, I felt like. But like Dee said, I woke up in the morning and I felt good. I didn't feel bloated. I felt thin when I woke up, which to me is always a reinforcing feeling that I'm doing something right. My clothes definitely fit better immediately. And I felt like I had more energy, even though I definitely was eating less carbohydrates or maybe different carbohydrates than I was before. When I was doing 80-Day Obsession, I was eating, you know, like in plan D or E or something like that. And I was just eating like a ton of food. But I felt like really weighed down and terrible. And with this, I, you know, would eat like not low carb, but I wouldn't really have carbs with dinner. And I would wake up and run in the morning. And I never was like exhausted and not having energy. I always had these really great morning runs that were faster than normal. I mean, I had more energy than expected and I felt really light. So, I mean, that to me sets my tone for the day when I wake up and I feel good that I want to keep doing what I'm doing. So that was like the biggest difference for me. I'm sure if you were going from like, you know, a fast food diet to something like this, you might see a lot of changes in your skin and stuff like that. But at least for me, that was all. And then Maggie went over the videos. Someone asked about those.
About the schedule of the videos. So when you purchase this, you actually get access to all of the videos at once. But it's up to you to do it as you can. You can binge watch them, and they're probably like 2 hours total if you really wanted to. Or you can do like 1 or 2 or 3 a day. Totally up to you. We'll be running To Be Mindset challenge groups. So I know that I will probably come up with some type of video schedule once they do come out. and say, let's watch videos like 1 through 5 today or 1 through 10 today, depending on the timing of them, and have a discussion over that week, that type of thing, or just say this week, get this many done and let's have a discussion, that type of thing. But yeah, you will have access to all of them. You can binge them or you can go back, but they're there for you to go back and continue to listen to, because you're not going to get it all the first time. You know, and you need to go back. You need to be reminded. You need to hear that repetitive voice in your head. And I still need it. They took the videos away from us in the test group. And I'm like, wait, come back. Like, what did you say about that video? Like, what was that catchphrase? I need that back again. So I'm actually really excited to get them back as well.
People are asking what you typically eat in a day, and plating, and portions. So there's no like specific size of plate, and that's kind of where the learning process comes in, because you obviously can make like a huge plate and kind of come up with your own portions. But that's how you'll start to determine if you really are eating the right amounts. And she kind of gives you, you know, general guidelines as far as like with this meal, you have 50% vegetables and that kind of thing. And I'm probably not supposed to talk about all of that. But, you know, in general, you have more of your carbohydrates in the morning. So for me, I basically in the morning am having my Shakeology with a full banana. And then you can have vegetables pretty much with anything. So sometimes I'll put some spinach or frozen cauliflower in it, some peanut butter, and then sometimes I even have like an egg white omelet with some cheese with it. So the best thing about this plan, if that's what you want to call it, is that you get to eat really big portions. And that's awesome for me, because when I snack all day, I just never stop eating, and that's a problem. Instead, you get to have big meals. So that's kind of what I've been having for breakfast. She also encourages people to kind of have like a standard go-to breakfast. So that's what I've usually had. Lunch, I've been having either leftovers from dinner or like a big, huge salad with a lot of things mixed in it, and some type of legume, because again, I'm not really doing a lot of grains. I seem to do better when I do that. Not a ton of legumes, but some, but again, veggies most. And then a snack. Sometimes if I'm hungry, sometimes I'm just not hungry for a snack because I really have like a huge, huge lunch. If I do snack, it's usually like some bell peppers and hummus. Sometimes I might have some Greek yogurt, but usually it's just a vegetable. And then dinner is kind of, you know, all over the place, but some type of protein and a lot of vegetables, and a lot of water. So that's kind of like a general day of food, at least for what I'm eating. I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything.
Yeah, I mean, basically the same as Erin. And like, you know, yesterday I had a snack because I was hungry, and today, and here's the other thing, you know, coming off of these containers, I was used to having a snack between lunch and dinner because I was told to. And probably because I wasn't portioning my lunches large because I knew I wanted to have a bigger dinner, or vice versa, or whatever it was. And like, I went and grabbed actually a Beach Bar to run out the door and pick up McGinn, and I was like, I'm not even hungry. I literally finished lunch an hour earlier, and because I am used to grabbing a snack on my way out the door to pick up my son from school, I just did it. And I was like, why do I put it back? I'm like, I'm not even hungry. Like, why am I doing this? So like, we fall into these habits, you guys, and that's the type of stuff where there's like this little mindset behind you, like, you're not hungry, why are you doing this? Or as before, I would have just eaten it because my containers told me to. So there's just this freedom to it that I was like, okay, I can put this down and not feel like I have to finish, you know, eat this or whatever. And I wasn't hungry until dinner. And it's probably because I really have been chugging this all day, honestly. It's like miracle worker. Y'all drink your water. Somebody asked about Beachbody supplements. Yes, to Shakeology. Alana is a huge proponent to Shakeology. The benefits of it, not only for vitamins and minerals, but as a protein and supplement for a meal replacement. She drinks it every single day. And there are videos to incorporate the other Beachbody supplements that she goes over. I know she does the Power Greens, and her husband does Focus Energy, and she loves the Digestive Boost, something she puts in her shake every day as well. And as far as the other Performance Line supplements, she does a video on that, so you'll be able to see that when that comes out. Anybody else?
Can I make a comment? Or maybe, I guess it's a comment. It seems like a couple people, and I just saw, I don't even know who said what, but it seems like there is a little stress from the transition from portion control to the to be mindset way. And of course, I was kind of excited about it because I felt like I was restricted and there was control on me. And with To Be Mindset, it's a switch kind of where after you get to know the program, you don't have to learn it overnight. It's a calm and peaceful way, step by step. I wouldn't stress about it because it is easy. I don't know how to emphasize that or help encourage that, but it is. And then now I feel like because it's not in control, the portion controls are not in control of me, I'm in control of what I eat. And I'm kind of a control freak sometimes, so it's very helpful for me on that. And another thing, earlier I think someone asked about the weight or the muscle gain or whatever due to exercise. Well, me, I'm on the other side of it right now because I can't exercise. So I specifically asked on one of the calls, and I said, hey, am I going to get saggy because I don't want to gain, this extra little hangage here. I mean, I'm bigger, so I'm going to have a lot more weight loss in the long run. And I was concerned about that. And she said, because you're having the protein that your body needs, that's going to help you not worry about that, basically. I can't remember exact words. Hers were probably way better than mine, but it was encouraging to hear until I build myself back or I'm able to exercise again. Or if you have anyone that's wanting to try this out that can't exercise yet, maybe in the long run, 50 pounds down the way, they get to a point where they can exercise. That's huge. And she did emphasize exercise is very important, but if you can't, you can't. So.
I know that Cece has some questions. I'm looking through here really quick. How long did it take us supplement? Sorry, there was one other person. For people that were on, it seems like people that were on Portion Fix, most people on Portion Fix that were in the test group, or there are people that weren't on Portion Fix in the test group. And absolutely, Alana has been implementing this for years. This is her program that she had in her private practice that it's a proven program for hundreds of her clients prior to bringing it to Beachbody. And then of course, Beachbody did the test group without coaches to start. They actually, and I don't know if anybody out here has done Weight Watchers, and I know that Christy actually used to be a Weight Watcher coach, CD as well. They actually used people that failed Weight Watchers to do this program. And if the video that I showed in the beginning, a lot of those people were Weight Watchers people. And my husband loves Weight Watchers. He actually loses a lot of weight on Weight Watchers. He did it when I was pregnant prior to Beachbody. It works. I'm not bashing that by any means, but it works for some, it doesn't work for others. Do you have a question? Okay.
Can I ask my questions?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a couple. So what about people who are already doing certain Beachbody programs that have very specific food plans that go along with them? Do you know what the recommendation is for that? Like, can To Be Mindset go with any program, regardless if it's, a super duper weightlifting program or, just something more reasonable, basic, or, so what's the deal with that?
So,
and then I have a couple more.
To Be Mindset is a weight loss program. So, it's for people who want to lose weight. Exercise is extra credit, although Alana obviously suggests some sort of movement or exercise for people because it's just overall health. That hasn't necessarily been addressed within our group, but everybody within the test group continued to work out. So, I did it while I worked out. Aaron's done it while we all did. And if you have a knee injury like D and can't work out, this is your option. I wouldn't continue using containers at a weight loss without workouts. Do you know if that makes sense? You can still have weight loss at that. Weight loss is a calorie deficit. Plain and simple. But at the same time, you need to ensure that whatever program that you're doing, that you're sustaining yourself. And it is totally doable on 2B Mindset. My portions just get a little bigger. When I'm hungry, I eat more. When you're hungry, you eat, you guys. And when you're not hungry, you don't eat, and you eat within guidelines. So it's not restrictive, but you have guidelines. And I hope that makes sense. I know we're running over. It's 10:05. Let's do one more. Does anybody have one more question? I know there were some questions that were shot at me prior to the call. Gluten issues, again, totally doable because you just eat within your parameters. Hey, Scott. Sorry, you're still on the camera, CC. People with cardiovascular health disease, prior heart attack, stuff like that. Of course, this is all good. It lowers blood sugar. It's gonna lower all of that because you're eating healthier. And of course, preconditions, anything with preconditions, consult your doctor. Vegans, absolutely. There's, vegan recipes. It's totally doable with all of it. No more questions? And Christy, you're for people who have no idea about portions. Oh, yes. So yeah, you use a plated system. So I know that that's abstract for you. So you use a plated system, and it has percentages of foods, right? And that is something for you to figure out. Like, you're obviously not going to fill up your entire plate overflowing. I'm going to call Dee out a little bit. I actually think Dee was eating not enough in the beginning, and I told her to eat more, and she did. I was like, you're taking this to the extreme. Eat a little bit more. That's not enough. I would be starving on that. Let's eat a little bit more. So there is that part of it. And that's why I think people have, again, Erin addressed this, have a lot more weight loss in months 2, 3, 4, 5, and going forward than they do in their very first month, because you do have to figure those portions out. You do have to figure out what works for your body. And again, knowing how you feel when you eat. So that's also another reason why I think having Portion Fix in your arsenal prior to starting this is actually kind of great, because you do hone in on what portions look like. So it actually, for those of you who are challengers and coaches and have that in your arsenal, it's kind of a wonderful tool to have prior to starting this, because you already know what portions look like. Does that help, Christy? I hope so. I actually think she helped out.
I thought that it kind of got lost, but I think Danielle had a really good question about how long does it take until you feel like you get it?
I think that's all up to you. I feel like, for me, it took probably like a week or two. It's just playing around with recipes and stuff like that. Like, I know I have a day that I know is a weight loss day. Every time I eat these foods for breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner, I lose weight. And how amazing is that? Like, I can go on vacation, come home and be like, well, I'm going to have 3 weight loss days when I get home, and I'm done. Right? Like, you just have this, there's just a way of doing it. And I think that's totally up to you. I feel like you need to figure that out. That's the intuitive part of it. It is a mindset, but that's the intuitive part of it, knowing what works for you and figuring that out.
And I also think it's where you are in your journey. Like, you're a chef, you like to cook, you like veggies. Me, I'm not a chef, I don't like to cook, I don't like veggies. Whereas first month, I still lost weight, and I'm getting to know my weight loss days, like you said. But this month, I've kind of tried a couple more veggies. Oh, they were horrible. So I'm trying a different one, and I probably had to shift and didn't eat like I wanted to eat, but definitely within the first 2 weeks, the week or two. And I think I get it as far as I had hope, at least. But by the 3rd week, I was like, okay, I'm getting on a flow here. And I was also on vacation.
And yes,
I just thought of another question. Does she speak at all coach you at all about how to develop that intuition? Or does it just kind of happen, like with knowing, like, okay, why was today a weight loss day? What did I eat? Like, does it become really obvious, or does she coach you through that? Like, pick up the, do you know what I'm saying?
Both. She coaches you through it for sure. You guys, these videos, like, they are indispensable. Like, they are just like, they are what you want with you. And there's going to be an app that comes out in June, so you'll be able to literally access the videos like in the palm of your hand when you need them. And yes to wine, yes to going out to eat with your friends, yes to all of that, you guys. There are no restrictions, there are guidelines. And I know that can be scary for some people, but it's not. And Dee expressed that. It's not scary. Now she has control over herself instead of having everything have control over her. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but Erin posted it earlier up in here. Like, it's just so simple, it's stupid. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna drop the call at that. We are 10 minutes over. I hope this was as informative as possible for everybody and that you guys got something out of it. Thank you so much. Renee, we'll discuss costs in the group. I know all of us are running sneak peeks, and we will definitely discuss costs within there. And yes, somebody asked if coaches got the discount. Yes, coaches do get a discount going forward.
And it's a one-time purchase.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's a one-time purchase. Yep. Unless you're not on Shakeology and want to have the Shakeology, that of course is obviously continual, which everybody should be drinking it.
And if you relate to one of us specifically and have questions for that person, feel free to reach out.
Yes, absolutely. Right. We are all here to
help. Or ask whoever your coach is, because I might not know you, but just in case.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to any of us. Thank you for letting us share this with all of you, and y'all have a great night.